let's talk about the leasing process. What are the first steps in the process of leasing a property, and what are documents that are required to initiate the process?
Well, the first step is to, from a property management standpoint, the first step is to find the properties to manage, and you do that by talking to potential clients or property owners, landlords that need your services. And then we have to have an agreement with them. But that really, then the first step is to make sure that the property fits what we're looking for, and it meets all the requirements of, being a good, safe property. Every local jurisdiction has their own rules and their own regulations and requirements for rental properties. So we have to know what those requirements are. We have to make sure all the appliances are in working order, for instance, in the properties. Do all the lights and ceiling fans work? Does it meet code? Are there enough smoke detectors in the property? Are they all in working order? We have to learn basically everything that there is to know about the property and make sure everything works and it's a safe property for the tenants that live there. It's we've got to make sure the property meets code, everything works in the property, and it's a desirable property that people will actually want to live in.
Right. What are the documents that are required to start the leasing process?
Well, the documents required from a property management standpoint is we have to have an agreement with the owner. What does he expect of us, and what services are we going to provide for him? So that's the first agreement really that we have to have. The second agreement and documents would be really involved around the application process itself. The applicants fill out an application. They have to approve certain things that we need to do to see if they're qualified. We have to run a credit check, so they have to approve that. We do background checks. We do criminal history checks, employment verification. We do all those things. So we need all the approvals from the tenant to be able, or the applicant rather, to do those things.
Right. What are the landlord's responsibilities and obligations at the beginning of the leasing process?
Well, the landlord's responsibilities and obligations, again, it's really revolved around the property itself. They've got to provide, clean, safe property for the applicants. There's a lot of, bad stigma out there about slumlords and landlords not maintaining properties and not giving a safe environment to their tenants. So we want to avoid those things, and we do that by making sure that the property is, in good, clean, livable condition. Everything works. Again, there's no safety hazards, no health hazards potentially for any of the tenants or applicants. So we go through the property I'm hesitant to use the word inspection, but we go through the property and we do a physical check and a visual check of everything that we can, but we're not licensed inspectors. So that's why I'm hesitant to use the word inspection. But again, we check to make sure everything works. Everything is clean and healthy and safe for the tenants and applicants.
Right. How important it is to establish a solid and detailed lease agreement at the initial stage?
Well, really, it's critical from a standpoint of the lease agreement details the legal requirements and the legal obligations of every party involved. It details how much rent the tenant is going to pay, how long the lease term is going to last. It also details who's responsible for which things. For instance, the question always comes up, and I always get asked, hey, we have ants in our house. Can you send out an exterminator? Well, sure, but check the lease agreement, because chances are, the tenant is going to be responsible for those kinds of things. The property is going to be, pest free when they move in, and it needs to be that way the whole time they're there and when they move out. But during the tenancy, the lease is going to detail all the information about the lease and who's responsible for what.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the rental price. What considerations should be taken into account when you are setting the rental price?
I get asked that question a lot, especially from potential landlords. Well, my mortgage payment is this, and my insurance is this, and I want to make this much profit, so let's lease the property for X dollars a month. Well, the first thing to consider is, what is the market rent? Yes, everybody wants to make money on their rental properties, but if the market doesn't determine the rent price that's going to make that possible, then that's another story. But yeah, we look at the market. Things to consider typically are the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, the square footage of the property. School district is huge. People want to be in the best schools that they can get. So really it revolves around supply and demand. How many properties are available in the market at the moment? What's the condition of those properties? Have they been updated and upgraded? Do they have granite countertops? Do they have, laminate countertops, stainless steel appliances? All of those things are taken into consideration when determining what the rent is, but really it boils down to the market. Obviously, the landlord wants to maximize profits and get the highest rent that he can, but at the same time, if there's other properties available at lower amounts, he's not going to be able to do that. So we have to determine what's the best rent, and it's as much art as it is a science to determine what a good market rent is.